1942. The war's on. Riccobotta, his hobby is sending these Navy operatives into Germany. They've been going all over Germany, and they're staggered at what they've found. They found that Hitler and the SS made an agreement with reptilian extraterrestrials. They found hundreds of different types of advanced weapons being built. These included 60-foot and 250-foot, 500-foot UFOs, round vehicles, okay, UFOs. They built some of these out of chromoly steel that would weigh tons and tons and tons. They had developed, or they had been given, electromagnetic anti-gravitational propulsion by the reptilians. The agreement turned out that they were to develop a parallel space navy that the reptilians had and operate out through the galaxy with the reptilians taking over planets and enslaving the people on the planets. But what they had already accomplished was really strange. They have all these UFOs, different types of propulsion that were unbelievable, laser weapon systems, unbelievable stuff. All over the country, Germany and the occupied areas, they had massive underground production facilities that they were using, they had developed for regular arms waste, like tanks and places to build Navy ships and all this kind of stuff. Most of it was underground. So they started expanding those facilities, and they put 11 of these UFO-shaped vehicles in production. So the operatives are trying to explain to us, and the admiral would back off and say, "Slow down, I don't believe you." And that went on, and then the captains would say the same thing. The operatives were nice guys, and they knew they were going to get the questions when they got back into the admiral's office, and they knew that nobody was going to believe what they said. So fortunately, the admiral had a typist in there, and the admiral's aide was not in there. He wasn't even cleared to be in there. And one or two of the captains, the admiral and myself, and we were the ones, the only people that this information was given to by the operatives. I want to step sort of back to my job in the Navy there working for Admiral Riccobotta. We talked about my mission, not my job, my mission. It's documented, okay? It's written by the Secretary of Navy Forrestal, okay, who became the #1 guy in the military. Then he, like several other people, including our president at that time, were talking to a lot of other people. And so he was supposed to have had a mental breakdown, so they took him to the hospital there in Washington at the top floor and pushed him out the window. And so that's the guy that wrote Admiral Riccobotta's mission, which has been my mission, came from his. That was the level of this information in the United States. Now, no other country but Germany knew about the extraterrestrials. Nobody did. Now, as this started to unveil the reality of what Germany was doing, it was like the war is going to be over, period. They're going to take the whole planet, and they could do it in 5 minutes. They even had trained a group of soldiers, an entire battalion of them, who were cloned. They had cloned a whole battle group of soldiers. They sent them out front, and they were killing the Russians unbelievably. So it's not just the material, but and advanced medical systems, longer lives. The size and the magnitude of what was taking place was unbelievable to everybody that got involved in the program. The SS found out that people could live longer. So there was another big, massive program given in pieces, brought back by the Navy operatives, plopped it on the table in front of Admiral Ricobata. And of course, that ended up with about 24 packages because of the different magnitudes of living longer. And I guess if you ask the question for the Nordics, their comparable lifespans are 1,400 to 2,200 years. But they look exactly like us. There is a study that we did later on at TRW on advanced life systems as extended life. And that program is down now to within less than 2 years. It's going to be available to some people on this planet. The way it works, I'm very involved with it. Essentially, you take 4 aspirin over 6 months, pop them, or you get 4 shots. You immediately change. Everything is nicer. Everything is nicer, okay? What you do is you revert back to the girl's 21 and the guy's 29. Now, it takes a while for you to do this. You then stay at that time for essentially a couple of thousand years. Your brain then, which collectively we're only using 2.2% of our brain. I don't care what they're telling us. We're only using 2.2%. You get a minimum of 400% capability over what you normally had. And now, what this does is, this allows you to contribute. Allows you to contribute. You go to work for the company here, 20 years, they give you the watch, and you got a couple of 3 years later on, and you're out of the picture. Okay, so you didn't contribute very long. All right, now you're living 2,000 years, and you can contribute, and you also can have fun for 2,000 years. And you don't change age. You stay there. 5 of the top medical research groups, just like Scripps right here in San Diego, are involved in this. And there's hundreds of companies involved in this. There's a whole lot out there that is being removed from our part of our life, and that we are in this position where everything that we've been taught, whether it's in the university or in medical or in any technical field, even mathematics, is baloney. Yet, because we have allowed reptilians to put the stuff in our minds that removes our capability to operate, learn, our entire history, all the way back thousands of years, has been being controlled. We now know this. This is not something that we think could happen. We now know this. So if you look at countries, you look at the Roman times, and you see, if you take and parallel these events back with that, the Romans were being mind controlled. They had the elite group, and then they had all of the army, and then they had the slaves. And that's where we are now. We're just finding out about this, and we need to fix it.
Did Bill share anything that you can comment on